All right, away we go on a Wednesday podcast. It's going to be a nice, warm 90-something degrees. You're going to have chances of thunderstorms later. And Eddie Scozzare is with me as Alice still in Montana. What's up, Eddie?
Hello, podcast people and YouTube person.
Yeah, something like that. So, a couple of things that are actually show related from early this morning, or at least topics that were from the show. Do you like threesomes? No.
Ha.
Talking about that whole villages thing. No. They had the caller called in to the Boomer and Geo show in the 9 o'clock hour asking about the golfer that got struck by lightning. Horrible story. And I kind of read through it. It's even worse. I mean, there's nothing good about it, obviously. It's worse and worse the more you read. And I always wonder, like, even the other day, I guess it was Monday, my son played in a golf tournament and they blew the horn and we had to go in and that was that. But even when we were sitting there, like you get the alerts from the emergency alert system, it said, do not drive, do not travel. And yet, dumb me figured, I'm not going to get caught in a flood. How do I know I wasn't going to get caught in a flood?
You don't.
How do all the thousands of people out there know they're not going to get caught in the flood? So my question is, like, why don't most of us, I'm not saying not everybody, but why don't most of us take these things seriously?
Well, because you think it's not going to happen to me. It's just
But
a
see,
normal.
that's not
condition.
me. I actually am the opposite. I actually feel like, why couldn't it happen to me? I've seen so much crap around me. I'm always waiting for the bad result for me. So I don't have that attitude. Yet in this case, I don't know. I guess it's more the area. I don't feel like the area, like the thing in Texas was so tragic. I just didn't think we ever dealt with severity to that level.
And
Yeah,
you were
around
out
here.
by Somerset, or
I was at the Spooky Brook Golf Course in Somerset, and I got on 287 at around exit 10, and by the time I got to exit 8 is when it started to get really awful.
yeah, and that area is, if you remember, around that Manville area, they're very prone to flooding.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, yeah, because you got the Millstone River, I think, runs right through there. So anything that's very close to a river or large stream is at risk.
Have you ever been camping or hiking or whatever you walking the dogs and you ended up too far away from where you needed to be when you realize, I mean, this is deteriorating quickly on me?
Yeah, I've been up on mountain peaks in Utah specifically, where it just rolled in and it was hailing, and we kind of sought cover for a while. Now it passed quickly, but I've also been down in the desert Southwest in southern Utah, where it could be thunderstorming 50 miles away, and it can cause flash floods where you are.
Really?
Yeah.
From that far away?
For sure. Yeah. And like, you don't want to be in a slot canyon if you're hiking a slot canyon, which is beautiful and a great experience, but you don't want to be in there if there's water coming.
Didn't you also, when we were in Vegas, didn't you hurt yourself when you were hiking?
Well, I fell. I cut my leg up pretty
Was that what? Right. I mean, and what would have happened if you broke your ankle?
Right. Well, I mean, in that particular case, I wasn't too worried because I was within sight of the road.
Okay.
So, and I don't think I ever lost cell service.
Mhm.
So I would have been okay. And there were a few other people on the trail. So yeah, but if I would not hike alone in a true wilderness area. No shot.
Right.
Because
God knows what you run into.
yeah. I mean, people do it.
I
Like,
know.
there was that guy in the Utah desert, or no, he was in the Uinta Mountains, a little north of that. The guy who had to cut his arm off.
Right.
If you remember that story.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not me.
Well, but you've never been in the situation.
Right. Well, yeah, but I wouldn't have been out there alone.
Oh, true. Understood. Worst storm, would you say Superstorm Sandy is the worst you've seen?
Yes. Yeah. And we were here for that. That
Well,
was
you got here. I was not allowed to get here as the state troopers would not allow me to come in.
You didn't stay in the hotel with Al?
No, I was home. Remember, that storm was a Sunday into a Monday.
Right.
And I don't remember if we had games, but there was a reason why I couldn't come in Sunday night.
Yeah.
I had a huge pickup truck. I figured I'll get in. And I woke up. The storm had passed at 4 a.m. I looked outside. I'm like, I'm good. I got in my truck. And as I started driving, I quickly realized Power was out everywhere. And then as I approached the Garden State Parkway, there was a state trooper blockade. And Route 30, the only other way I could have gone was up 35, and that was closed due to
Yeah.
flooding. And I had no phone, like nothing worked. My cell phone didn't work, but it hit me that my satellite phone, I had the Chevy Avalanche at the time. That's how I was able to communicate with you guys. Told you, yeah, I'm not getting in.
Yeah, see, I don't remember. For some reason in my head, it was like a Monday into a Tuesday. Is that possible?
I really believed it was a Sunday into a Monday.
Because I remember Al and I were here, and we just stayed here.
Really?
I think, and we went to the hotel. But I could be wrong, and maybe we came in on the Sunday, but I kind of remember going to get like pizza somewhere, and then going down to that Hampton Inn, I think it was,
Right.
down on Broome Street or something.
Okay.
And then we lost power there. And this is how long it was before I had a smartphone. And I remember going down the stairwell of the hotel with those old flip phones, how
Sure.
much light they put out
Right.
or not, and trying to navigate down the stairwell with the feeble light of a flip phone.
I think you're right. It was the 8th, 15th. No, it was a Monday. It was a Monday.
Yeah. And
You guys must have just come in on Sunday then.
Or maybe it was Sunday night into Monday?
It was Sunday. If I'm looking at this 2012 calendar, the 1st, the 8th, the 15th, I'm counting the Mondays, the 15th, 22nd, 29th. So it hit the night of the, yes,
because I thought it made landfall like 4 a.m. or something like that.
Oh, all right. Maybe it was Monday and Tuesday. I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is it was beginning of the week and I couldn't get in. That's what I remember.
Maybe it was like I don't know. Maybe you had a Monday night Dallas game. I don't know.
It's possible. Or maybe I had it's certainly very possible.
Were you
I don't
doing
know.
the Cowboys back in?
No, you know what? I didn't have a
2012?
game Monday night because Monday night, whatever night of the night prior to the storm or leading into the storm. Remember, it got very windy.
Oh yeah,
that Monday, and I remember being in the backyard and tying up stuff and making sure we didn't lose chairs and all sorts of things like that. I remember I cooked outside on the barbecue, watching the weird sky. So I did not work a game that night. That was not the case.
Yeah,
no.
and I've a few times, I think at least once, maybe twice, I've had to stay home because of the state of emergency.
Sure.
But there have been other times when I have gone in a state of emergency.
Yeah, so have I.
And I can always use the excuse that, hey, I
Right.
work for a radio station and we're needed and all that, essential services. And we do provide,
Of course.
I mean, we're not like WINS but we can provide some information to people.
I will tell you, especially with snow going forward, I will not come in a snowstorm anymore because I don't. For years, I've always had a 4x4 out of my disposal. My wife had she had a Durango, a Tahoe, and then the Ford Expedition. All three of those vehicles, I felt like I could drive through anything. I no longer have them. And my tiny little car, I ain't driving through a snowstorm in that. And so that's out. And you know what? We have the ability to do it from home from now on. That's what I will do.
Yeah. Well, I don't.
I know you can't. Your job is
different. But I
different,
have the access to my second vehicle, the CRV.
which you still have.
Yes.
Right. And this is new for me. We just traded in. We had the Expedition for 6 years. We just traded that in about 2 months ago. And done with those. No more sports really. So we're done with the huge vehicles.
Yeah, which saves you on.
Oh my God, the gas. That Expedition, and I loved it. Even the Tahoe, I believe they were 30-gallon tanks, and you get 14 miles per gallon. My wife I would go take one, and you'd fill it up with these, current prices. Not that it's crazy now. They used to be a little bit more, as you remember, but it would be $90 to fill up the tank.
Sure.
And now it's a normal fill up is, $28 or nice. It's like the savings. You didn't realize you were just wasting money.
Yeah. My Fit is you're probably very similar tank size. It's a
10, like 10.4 or something. Yeah, exactly. That's what I have as well.
Even my CRV is 13.
Okay.
Which is not bad.
No, not at all.
Now, have you considered doing like a CRV or a Subaru, a smaller 4-wheel situation?
No.
To give you some ability to?
Nope. No. Because I'm at this point in my life, if I can't get in because of a snowstorm,
you can't
get in for a snowstorm.
Yeah.
Nope. Sorry. And I think back, like, all those times we did it. I had young kids at home. What the hell was I doing? So for what? Like, honestly, for what?
And being a skier, I've driven
Please.
up in the mountains in snow, and I've been stuck up at a
Oh,
resort
stuck at the resort. That's okay.
because, well, no, I've driven through pretty bad snow on windy mountain roads, and I've also been stuck up at a resort because they had to close the road for avalanche.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pass on that one.
hmm
The other thing from the show that came up was this player from the Pirates from the area in New Jersey,
hmm
Monmouth County,
Kirk Bavacqua.
who I don't really remember. So for you got him. What were you started really watching baseball when you're about 10, what are you, 6 years older than me? 7 years older than me?
58.
All right, so you're 7 years older than me. So I remember really starting to watch baseball in like 80, 82, 83. So you got to be mid 70s then,
Yeah,
right?
74, 5. Probably, I would say, yeah, 74 or 5. I went to my first Met game in 75.
All right, so you don't remember the 73 Mets.
No,
That's a little before you.
correct.
What and I guess you can tell me guys in the 80s because they won, but your first favorite players were who?
Dave Kingman.
Dave Kingman. That's how everybody says.
Yeah. And
Okay.
more than Tom Seaver because Tom Seaver came up in 67 or
Right.
8. And so I missed those, the World Championship and the World Series. And he was still a great Cy Young award winning high strikeout pitcher. But Dave Kingman was this new guy. He hit these monster home runs.
I know.
He was 8 feet tall. I met him at the Staten Island Mall.
Did you really?
Yeah. The newly opened
By chance or an
no,
appearance?
they were had appearance. They had a bunch of Mets there, and Seaver was probably there. I can't remember,
Hmm.
but I just remember because he was so huge. Seeing Dave Kingman.
Think about in this day and age, like, we talk about how Boomer was just, what would you say, 20, 15 years away from making $40 million a year as a quarterback. If you think about Dave Kingman and the way baseball is today compared to the way it was then, I'm not sure. I don't know what his contract status was, and they didn't make a fortune. Maybe he was one of the higher paid players. I don't know. But this is a guy that today, with the home run, the launch angle, we don't care about strikeouts. This guy would be probably a $45 million a year player.
And especially coming off I think his highest home run total in 1 year was when he played with the Cubs.
What did he hit?
48.
I
I want to say.
Okay.
Granted it's Wrigley, but still. And with the launch angle and all that, and the fact that people do not care about strikeouts
What
anymore.
a difference. You ever, like, all of the sports are essentially the same but different. In the NBA, the 3-point shot doesn't, and the dunking, you take it back 50 years, the game doesn't resemble itself.
No.
Even though it kind of does. Hockey is probably the closest, I would say, to what it was.
I would agree.
Though the look is different because 50 years ago, nobody wore helmets.
Right. And the guys weren't as huge.
They were, for sure. Well, that's across the board. I mean,
Yeah,
athletes are just
bigger and faster.
Yes, and it's full-time work. No one's working in the off season, and it's just different. The NFL is the same, except that the rules have changed the game
Correct.
drastically.
Yes.
It's not as violent and fast as it is. It's not as violent as it used to be.
No.
If that makes sense,
Yeah,
right?
they outlawed that. Used to be able to
The clotheslines,
clothesline and head slapping
for sure,
chop blocking and all this stuff that they've outlawed.
And then you've got baseball, which again is kind of the same, but so different. Like, I remember when I was a kid, every single lineup was the same. Your first guy was the speed. He's going to get on base. He's going to steal second. You're going to sacrifice him to third, or he's going to steal third. He's going to score, and he's going to steal 30 or 40 or 50 bases. And it was just everybody, but the pitchers were still hitting in the National League, and they were bunting. They put their jackets on when they got on base. The pitchers don't hit anymore. Nobody really I mean, the base stealing's up a little bit because of the stupid how many times you can throw overall. Another thing that's different. And everything about the shift for a while made the game look different. What do you think are I'll leave it to baseball. No, not the other sports. What do you think is the next big shift in baseball?
From a rules standpoint,
from
or
anything. I think it's clearly it's the electronics. I think it's the strike zone and things of that nature.
to have the strike zone be just all
Yeah,
robotic.
automatic. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You still have to have the guy behind home plate because
Correct.
there are plays that need to be made,
Right.
and he still has to. I don't think you would want to put the call on the board. I think you would. I've always said have a buzzer on the right leg for a strike and left for a ball. You still want him out there making the calls, but I do think that's probably the next thing.
Yeah, and as much as I want the calls to be right, I won't like that. I don't think.
But I'll say what I said this morning. You won't like it until
Of course.
it happens against you,
Yeah. Yes.
and then you will want it.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah. Right. In that moment, I'll be like, "Oh, thank God."
Like
But overall,
and I get that thinking. I do. But all the people that yell at me on social media or even call up and yell at me and call me the old guy in the room, which is fine. I'll ask them the same question. Okay, fair enough. David Peterson's on the mound, NLCS against the Dodgers this year, and he's trying for the complete game in a 1-0. It's 1-0. You got a guy on first base with 2 out, and on an 0-2 pitch, he hits the corner. Clearly a strike. Umpire calls it a ball. Next pitch, 2-run homer. Did you want the strike or not?
right. Of course.
There is a sense of trying to get it right, which I think is important.
Yeah.
You know,
And I in my head, I've had this thought for a while that I don't know if this is even feasible with the way the analytics rule the game now and dictate to managers how things are done. But I've had and this kind of happened with the Rangers a while ago when Nolan Ryan was more involved, where they were letting their pitchers go.
yes, I remember that.
Now, and I could not tell you if there was a history of injuries and if they burned these guys out and they ruined them, but and also I it's not going to happen with a guy who's throwing, except for Nolan himself threw 100 for, 9 innings, but he was a freak. If there's a guy who throws 94, 95 with a lot of movement, I think there will be a trend within the next 5 years to have these guys start going longer again.
Maybe.
But it can't be for all, the really power pitchers or just really torquing their arm.
Yeah, there's a lot of stress that's put on the arm, obviously. But again, when you're starting to pitch now at 7 years old, think about how many innings and how many. I was actually thinking a friend of mine is a physical therapist, and I've had the last year of coaching, I started to have elbow trouble. And he said, well, it's about time. He goes, have you ever actually thought? Now, it's not in a game. I get that. But he goes, have you ever thought how many like batting practice pitches you've thrown in the last 15 years?
Now, would you throw 60?
No. Not
Even the equivalents from
No. Well, if you're saying because I'm throwing from 40 feet instead of 60, maybe.
But you were only
That's
doing that
possible.
when the kids were of a certain age, correct?
Sure, but I started throwing batting practice in 2009. Again, soft tossing to, 7-year-olds. But every year you're throwing harder and harder to
Right.
bigger and bigger kids.
And then you were throwing from 60 feet.
No, I was never
No?
it was always from 40 in the batting cage.
Oh, okay.
It was never on the mound. It was always in the batting cage. And if I was on the mound, I always moved it up so I could throw strikes. 60 feet from me was too far.
And so would it be the equivalent of a 60 mile an hour from that distance?
Maybe. I suppose it's possible from that distance, but that's it. Point is, you add it up, and I mean, it is a significant. There would be batting practice sessions where I would throw for 90 straight minutes.
Yeah.
And if each kid is getting 20 swings and then rotating, and you do that for 90 minutes, I'm throwing 300. They're not pitches, but I'm tossing 300 times in an hour and a half.
And it's an unnatural motion.
Unbelievable. Absolutely.
That's why the softball, the underhand, it's not. It
doesn't hurt you as much.
Right. But I don't think you could get it to 95 miles an hour from 60 feet, 6 inches underhand. I could be wrong.
I would doubt it, but I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I don't know the physics of it.
I don't know.
But I can't, because you can't get it.
It's too far.
Yeah.
Too far of a distance. But now my point is, these kids, these pros, by the time they start pitching in Major League Baseball, they have got thousands of innings, and I would say tens of thousands of pitchers on their arm already.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't and part of it's because the kids are playing in the spring, the summer, and the fall. And then they have the indoor training. So there's no break from the time they're like 7 years old. By the time they're in they're pros, I mean, it's amazing. Their arm's still on their body.
Yeah. Right, because it's got to be hundreds of thousands.
Right, I'm saying tens of thousands. It's probably
no. By the time they're in that level,
Yeah, it's because think about the minors, the college, the high school. It is insane. All right, so Dave Kingman's your guy. Was your family? I was talking to my dad about this the other day. Was your family big on going out to Shea? Did you go to games a lot?
Well, I mean, we used to go to like maybe 2, 3 a year.
Yeah,
3 would be a lot.
and it was exciting, right? When you
Oh
went,
my god, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and that first, this first green grass when you see it in person, it's yeah, you can't replicate that.
I
But
had that feeling for the first time as an adult when I went to Dodger Stadium.
mhm.
It was it's just one of those places that, I would always wanted to go, and the one time we finally got there and you walk in, it's like, God, my wife's like, "You look like a kid." I'm like, "You know what? I feel like a kid right
Mhm.
now." And it was awesome.
Yeah, but you have to remember we grew up in Staten Island and, it's not that much it's a little better than, coming from New Jersey,
But
but it
not
was
much.
still yeah, and we were not, rich family, and even though it was not that expensive back then, it was a treat that
Sure.
when we got to go.
And lastly, where did your hatred from the Yankees come from?
I just being surrounded by the all the Yankee fans, especially Mike in during the run.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, all right. So before the pink Cadillac, you remember the pink Cadillac
Of
in
course, yes.
1996. So before that run that started in 96 and really went through, I mean, I know they didn't get to the world and they struggled and Torrey almost got fired a couple of times, but like through like 2005, 6, when they were constantly in the playoffs, that period, that like 10-year period is what did it for you.
Yeah, and now growing up, I was a Mets fan because my dad was a New York Baseball Giants fan, and he became a Mets fan when the Giants and the Dodgers left. Same year, by the way.
Mhm. Oh,
Um,
was the same year? I
yeah, they
thought it
had
was 2 years apart.
uh-uh.
The Giants and Dodgers left the
Yeah,
same
that
year.
was part of the deal. With the Dodgers, they had to get they really wanted the Dodgers to go, but they had to get the Giants to agree.
I thought one team left in 58, the other team
I'm
left in
almost
60.
100% positive they
Wow.
left together,
Okay.
and it was after I want to say the '57 season.
Yeah, I knew 58 for sure, but I thought the Dodgers first, then the Giants
No,
went.
I
Was it
think
the opposite or were they was
it wa
saying you
it
saying
was
the
a
same?
package deal
Interesting.
that they both went out there, so they would have a little bit of a break on the travel,
Okay.
and they would have the natural rivalry still, even though they're a lot, the polo rounds to Ebbets Field
Was
was
not the same year.
not the same.
No. So
Giants' first
no, it
year
was the same year.
oh, okay. Which I thought it was.
So it was 1958.
Was the first year in California.
Yeah. So I
Right.
had 58 right, but I thought it was only one of those teams. Wow, I always
Yeah.
had that wrong.
Right. No, it was a package deal for sure that they both had to go.
Very interesting. Hey, there you go. The moves were contingent on both teams relocating together. The Dodgers announced their move October 8th. The Giants made their decision public in September.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
Boy, talk about shock,
And then
huh?
almost immediately, Bill Shea
Mhm.
started the whole,
Right.
to try to let's get this going. I forget who was the first, but I guess the Paysons or Joan Payson. I know was the owner. I forget exactly how that whole history went down. But
But the
yeah,
moral of the story is that Mike Francesa made you hate the Yankees.
well, yeah, but no, but I got off on a tangent there. But I was, Met fan, and of course you hated the Yankees as a kid. But then, and then the Mets got good, Yankees weren't as good, 86 World Series, and
Right.
was it and but then that whole thing, and then, dog with the crack committee. It
Sure.
was fun. It was a little
But
bit of a
that was
game.
fun. This
Yes.
seems more like
Oh
you
yeah.
can't stand them.
And then being in the dugout, trying to being sort of, and I wasn't planning on being pressed into duty, but all of a sudden I'm in the Yankee dugout as they're celebrating after they beat the Mets at Shea and trying to help Susan with the Yankee postgame. Yeah, if there was, that just totally cemented
That's
it.
a bad experience right there.
That was one of the worst sports memories of my life.
Would you
That and Riggins breaking free in Super Bowl 17.
I hear you. Those are two good ones right there.
Yeah.
I read the amount of hatred Bob Usler has for the Yankees.
I'm not quite at his
You're not
level.
no, you're bad. You're not that bad. I used to remember coming in when, he was finishing up his anchor shift at 11:40. I was starting mine at midnight.
Mhm.
So there was always that hour crossover. I'd get in about 10:30, quarter to 11. And there were a lot of times the Yankees, when they were on the road, would be, in the seventh, eighth, ninth inning, and he would just stand in front of in front of that TV screen with that game on, just like yelling at them.
Mhm.
Bob, they can't hear you. Like
Yeah.
he hates the Yankees.
Yes, I know.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
So that was the time. So Mike and the success of the Yankees and the people that were so smug is what did it for you.
Yes,
It's
and
really
then
something.
yeah, and it's all again, as a kid, Mets, Yankees,
Yeah, but as a
but
kid,
not to that level.
exactly. It's
Like,
more fun with your friends.
To carry this into adulthood is really kind of ridiculous, but again, it's sports hatred. It's not real.
Of course, it's not real. None of this is real.
Right. So, for that and then, whatever, about 8 years ago, I decided to make myself the YE Day shirt. It really made
The
me feel
Yankee
good.
Elimination Day.
Yes.
You have taken over, and now who's going to take over that from you?
I don't know.
I don't know who around here like hates the Yankee. I don't get a sense of anybody
Well, I
really
could think of a host or
who
hosts who I won't say his name.
that hates the Yankees.
Yes, who we kinda share secret little fist pumps when really bad
Sharing
things.
that's one thing. Having the hatred we're talking about is different. I think.
Mm.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't wanna out him or her.
Why? You like outing people. It's
Nah,
fun.
no.
Or her. It
Yeah.
ain't a her.
No, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. It's a him.
Mm.
Which day part?
I
Every
say
day part has multiple hosts.
I say nothing.
You suck. All right, we got to go. I appreciate this. We're gonna call this one today.
What's that?
Mike Francesa turned Scozzare into a Yankee hater.
Very nice.
I like it. All right, warm up show comes same formula. Me for a little while, then me and Fliegelman, and then we will catch you guys tomorrow again at 5 a.m. and we'll do this with Eddie again right after you've got the final word.